Cam Coleman is one of the best wide receivers in college football, and his physical tools and talent resemble a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL.
You are Locked On NFL Draft, your daily podcast covering the NFL Draft. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back to the Locked On NFL Draft Podcast. I'm Damian Parson. That's Keith Sanchez. And today's episode is brought to you by Odoo. Great organizations win because operations matter. And that's why you should get Odoo. Try for free today at odoo.com/locked on. That's odoo.com/locked on. And on today's episode, we're breaking down new Texas star wide receiver Cam Coleman, transferred out of Auburn, 6'3", 200 pounds. Later on in the show, we're going to explain our grades. I even got some fun comps for you. In the middle of the show, we're going to talk about and break down the concerns, things we want to see him get better at and improve. But we're going to kick the show off, as always, with the pros. We got to talk about the good things, Keith. And I'll say this, Cam Coleman's body type, athletic profile, and physical ability reminds me of a top 10 receiver in the NFL from the 2025 season. But guys, you got to wait to the end of the show for that. Keith. Stats, as we always talk about. Last year, he had 56 receptions, 708 yards receiving, 5 receiving touchdowns. At Auburn, the quarterback play was pretty inadequate, to be completely honest. Especially when you watch the film, you see a lot of misfires, him not getting the ball when he's open, things like that. What stood out to you for Texas's new talented wide receiver one, Keith?
Yeah, DP, I'm gonna say this. You said that you may have a comp that was from a 2025 NFL wide receiver. We may have the same comp, and I have one more. I have a couple in the bag that I have when I watch Cam Coleman. I'm thinking about who you may have selected, but we may be on the same page with this. Listen, number one trait, this guy's a tone setter. He is a tone setter. If your offense is lacking big playability, if it's lacking any type of get up and go about itself, right? And it's rarely you hear that about an offense, but just bringing a physical, violent temperament to the offensive side of the football, which is something that I think is underrated at times. Cam Coleman brings it, right? Those contested catches, his run after the catch ability, to run with power or run with a little bit of elusiveness, the quick screens, right? Even when he's catching quick screens, and I think he understands body control and balance, right? I won't say that he's the most explosive vertical guy, right? Where you're gonna say, okay, he's gonna run a 4-3 past people, but he understands body control and balance to on them quick screens to still be able to pick up 10, 12, 15 yards, just the way he's able to maneuver through traffic or break a tackle, something be it that. But I've been trying to find the right words as we've been the whole entire time after I watched Cam Coleman. But yeah, it's this tone setting ability playing the wide receiver position to where he can pick up the rest of the offense from a mental standpoint, right? To where he's going to come out there and he's going to get everybody else engaged and get everybody going, getting everybody ramped up. And I think there's a lot of value on that when you have your wide receiver that's a complete dog.
No, that's the word for him. He's a dog through and through. And you see the way he plays through the catch point. He runs through the catch point. He knows how to use his body for leverage and, like I said, the body control on the sideline for just, those contested catches, back shoulder fades. Even when you feel like a corner's in the hip pocket, he's still not completely covered because he can come back to the football. I like the way he works back down the stem and everything. And like I said, and to me, Keith, it starts for me the strength throughout contact. That strength through contact at the catch point, making collision grabs with guys draped all over him, things of that nature. He able to make those big boy or grown man catches that you see in the NFL, because at the end of the day, you're going to have to make those. You're going to deal with these top corners, and not even just top corners, right? It's just, hey, you got second-tier guys who'll be able to stick in your hip pocket because it's the NFL. It's not just like you look at, if you face the Houston Texans, which we talked about with like Cardinal Tate, it's like, man, can't really hide you away from Derek Stingley because you got Kabari Lasso on the other side of the field, right? Like if I throw you in the slot, you got to deal with Jalen Petrie and everything like that. Like you got to deal with different guys depending on the defense you're facing. So I love the strength through contact. Keith, to me, he's a 3-level playmaker. I know he can get open and win at the short level, and the quick level, the intermediate level, working in between the numbers, in breakers, crossers, slants, and then of course working vertically. And you like you say, is he the most explosive receiver? No, he's not. I don't think he's a 4.3 athlete. Keith, I do believe he's a 4.4 athlete, though. I think he's got that type of that 4.4 speed, and then he's a guy that you as a defender, speed wise, I'd rather crowd the line of scrimmage than give him a free release, because if he gets even with you or a step on you, he's got the stride length to start to eat up grass. And now, depending on your speed, and as I always pull in other sports, Tyson Gay, Usain Bolt. Was Usain Bolt that much faster than Tyson Gay and all those guys? He's one of the fastest of all time. That man's stride ate up 3 steps. Like, it was just what it was. He was like 6'6". This just is what it is. Like, man, my stride is going to outstride you. While you're taking baby steps, I'm taking full-grown leaps. And that's what Usain Bolt was doing. So I look at that same thing with Cam Coleman. When he opens that stride, he can pull away from guys. So the ball skills are elite. The tracking is elite. The hand strength. But it's just the ability to win one-on-one, Key. That's what I love. You know, if you're going to be a wide receiver one, you got to win one-on-one, like in those situations where it's like, hey, it's you versus him. And I need you to be the guy that gets the win on the situation. 3rd and 5, that slant, that hitch route, whatever it's going to be, I need you to win. And he showcased the ability to do that. And even to put up 700 yards with the quarterback play he had at Auburn, that lets you know you're pretty much a QB-proof type of weapon. Because, again, I put it in your area, you can make plays on it. So this is a supremely talented young man that I just wish that up until this point that he already had an Arch Manning or a top-tier caliber quarterback, because I feel like he could be putting up 1,400 yards a season.
Yeah, no, I think another word too, DP, is intentional. When you talk about his releases and his route running, right? There's not wasted steps or wasted motions. When we talked about, some of the better wide receivers in the NFL, and we talk about how they get to the point, right? Like they get to it. There's not a whole lot of dancing or things like that. I got the same notion and vibe from Cam Coleman, is that he gets to the point, right? Even in his release. Okay, cool. You showing me this? I got this release. I'm getting upfield. I'm getting to it. If it's an in breaker, getting upfield, getting my 10 yards, in breaker, catch the football. So I appreciated that. And I think about the video games, right? And there's some wide receivers, right, that I don't know what game this is. There's a spectacular catch tag to you, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's Madden or NCAA.
Madden.
Madden. Is Madden? Okay. Yeah. And he would have that tag. There was one catch where he was spinning around and caught the ball with one hand on the sideline, right? Like, so it's not just contested catch. This guy, he will enter the league as one of the upper echelon ball trackers and leaping ability combined with natural hands to come down with the football. I think it's amazing. I think he's aggressive. I keep saying he's a tone setter at the wide receiver position, and you don't get that a whole lot.
Yeah, no, I think I was the one way to categorize him, Keith, what I wrote down, he's a faith builder for a quarterback. You know, every quarterback's not cool throwing like back shoulder fades and the one-on-one ball. Like they're a zone coverage, I can dice you up. If I see man, some quarterbacks a little weary. He's the type of receiver that, and not in we've seen the clips of like the demonstrative number one wide receivers over the past 2-3 decades come to the sideline, yell at their quarterback, hey, I'm open, throw me the ball. Not like that, but it's more so, hey, trust me. Like, just give me a shot. He's that type of receiver. Like, he goes back to the quarterback, hey, bro, just arch, give me a shot. And it's, hey, just put it in his area. Because like you said, to be able to fully extend with one hand and snatch the ball, that builds faith in the quarterback. You're like, you know what? Maybe I should start throwing these more. Maybe I should, even if the guy's in his hip pocket, I give my guy a chance. We've seen that with the Terrell Owens of the world. I've seen Randy Moss, a guy being in his hip pocket early in the rep, and him just throwing a hand up early, like, yo, let it ride. And it was like, okay. And they throw it downfield, and he pulls away and go makes the play for you. Heck, what was it against Dallas, Megatron? But he had 3 defenders, and Stafford was like, don't care. I'm throwing it to Megatron anyway, right? It's just that's what we call a faith builder. So I'm with you, Keith. That aggression, that everything that you talked about, man, them intangibles, there's a lot of offenses that need a playmaker like that in the NFL. That dude who just go out there and be like, I don't care who's on me. throw me the football. I'm gonna go make the play for you.
Yep, I agree with DP. Let's do this, man. There may be some concerns about Cam Coleman's game, right? We mentioned the speed already. Let's flush out that conversation. Let's have the discussion of what we think Cam Coleman is as an athlete, right? What will he test? Things of that nature. Let's discuss that coming up next.
Support for today's episode comes from Square, the business platform helping sellers become neighborhood favorites. Whether you're preparing for a busy season or managing everyday demand, Square helps keep your business moving with everything from payments and online orders to inventory, staff management, and more, all in one place. Square helps simplify the everyday work behind running a business while giving owners the tools they need to keep growing. And it's something you notice when you're supporting the local businesses you love. It's the little things, getting a digital receipt instantly, a smooth checkout, and not waiting while someone tries to figure out a brand new system. Square helps you run your business more smoothly, bringing payments, operations, and insights all in one place so you're ready for whatever's next. Right now, listeners can get up to $200 off Square hardware when you sign up at square.com/go/lockedonnfl. That's SQUARE.com/go/lockedonnfl. Get started today with Square and build a setup that works the way you do. Before we break down the concerns for Cam Coleman, get your daily Locked On NFL Draft fixed completely ad-free by joining the Everydayer Club. Today, start your 7-day free trial right now and get closer to your favorite NFL Draft analysts, me and Keith, without the interruptions. Click the link in the show notes or go to LockedOnNFLDraft.supercast.com to claim your free trial. The concerns for Cam Coleman, Keith, and it sounds like you're worried about his athleticism. When you kind of teased that, Keith, let's talk about it. What did you see that kind of piqued your interest in a concerning way?
Yeah, and you say in comparison of let's say we just came off of doing Jeremiah Smith, right? So when I say instant explosiveness, I'm not sure if Cam Coleman has that, right? Like that, if that's going to be his bag. And I know you said that you believe he's more of a 4.4 athlete. If I had to guess today, without any training, making him run the 40-yard dash, I think he's a high 4.4 to maybe a 4.51 type of athlete, right? Which I'm okay with, because when I bring up my comp for next segment, I'll tell you exactly where I think he wins. But that's what I think will be the conversation, is like, okay, what type of athlete? And when I bring up this comp, this guy also failed because of his 40-yard dash a little bit too. I think that there are other elements, and me saying this concern is going to be, okay, cool, going against the elite athletes. The part that it brings up for me to where I'm like, okay, there's some offsetting intangibles about him is the dog mentality that he has, right? That even it and his thing is, listen, it might not, if I'm even, I'm leaving. It might be if we even, I'm going up and get it. Right. That may be his notion. So that was my part of my conversation. I think Jeremiah Smith will instantly make cornerbacks pay for not being technically sound in press man coverage or things like that. I think Cam Coleman is a guy that has to get going, right? And maybe his, what they call that, the open 30 or running 30 or something like that. Yeah, flying 30. Yeah. Once he gets to 30, I believe that there's good speed there. But I think in that 0 to maybe 20-ish yards, there's an element of him having to get going. So the top end speed or the top end acceleration was something that I had that I jotted down as like, hey, pay attention to this as far as translating through the rest of the draft cycle.
No, I actually agree with that, Keith, because that's something I did see. He's a guy that, like, buys. I say for me is like, okay, third, fourth step, you can see him gearing up, right? Like he's more of a build up speed than he's one of those guys that, in the 40, it could be a situation. I think, for example, it was like Devon Achane was on, I think, Amara St. Brown, the St. Brown Brothers pod, and they asked him who was faster, him or Jahmyr Gibbs. He's like, me. And like he said it with so much, he's like, me. Like, that's the track background of him. Like, no, it's me. And then they asked about him. He's like, are you the fastest guy in the league? And they brought up Tyreek Hill. He's like, Tyreek could get me in the 40, but I'll get him in the 100, right? And it's like, Cam Coleman's one of those guys, like you think about from a track standpoint, like since it's the 100-yard dash, he may not come out the blocks as fast as everybody else. But like you said, that flying 30 and 40, he hits 50, 60 meters. Now he's up to full speed, and now he's galloping at full speed. He's at stride start to take over. He's at top end speed. I think that's where I look at him as like, yeah, you won't be a guy that's just off the snap. You're like explosive and threatening a guy to just to blow by him, right? Like he's going to be more of, hey, if we're even 20, 30 yards down the field, I'm probably going to start pulling away if you don't keep your hands on me or try to armbar me to the sideline. So that's going to be definitely something that I saw as well, Keith. All the other things I saw, I think, run blocking for me, 200 pounds, like, and I'm bigger. I criticize big receivers more for run blocking because you are big. Like if you're a 6'3", 200-pound wide receiver, I shouldn't be seeing cornerbacks like shoot their hands in your chest and your head snap back like you got into a car wreck. I shouldn't be seeing those type of things. I should see you be able to dominate the point of attack, seal that guy. I'm not telling you to be Julio Jones. I'm not no, I don't need you to do that. I need you to not get knocked back by cornerbacks on the perimeter, because as a running back, or if we're running some jet sweep stuff, some jet pop passes, you got to seal that stock block. You got to seal that to let our ball carrier do his thing. So I want to see him just kind of get better with that. You talk about his releases. His releases are good. I want to see him use his hands versus press, because to your point, Keith, what we talked about, how do you negate not being the most explosive? Using your hands, right? If a guy wants to be physical with you in the contact window, being a counter puncher, right? Being the counter puncher. Floyd Mayweather, Bud Crawford, be the counter puncher. Let them shoot, you counter, and now you lock their hip and you get vertical. You get into your route and your rep a lot earlier. And Keith, this is the thing for me. He's a dog, but this is what I want to see. Dominate with expectations, because you're at Texas now. That spotlight's a lot brighter than Auburn. You got Arch Manning as your quarterback. And as much as because I hate this about quarterbacks. I'm not anti-quarterback, but I hate this with quarterbacks. If there's a quarterback that people love, and if he's not playing well, people blame everybody around him but the quarterback, right? Like, so if it's a quarterback that people don't like, it's like, yeah, that dude sucks. It was like, oh, but Justin Herbert didn't play well. Like, Justin Herbert threw 3 interceptions. Like, but his receivers weren't getting open. Like, all right, man. You know what I mean? Like, we this is what we're doing. Like, but if this other quarterback throws 3 interceptions, like, man, I don't know how long you can keep him as a starter. Not saying that I love Justin Herbert, guys. I'm just using that as an example of how people I love Justin Herbert. One of my top 10 quarterbacks in the league.
Listen, your DM's about to be full of Justin Herbert.
People know I love Justin Herbert. You know what I mean? But I use that as an example. That's how people act with him. But yeah, I think for Cam is like going out there, still in the SEC. So it's not like you're changing levels of talent, right? You're still in the SEC, but the spotlight is brighter. Texas comes with playoff contendership, and the fans view their team as a potential national champion. You got Arch Manning, the biggest name at the quarterback position in college football, right? Whether he's the best quarterback in college football, that's debatable, but he's got the biggest name. You got to go out there and match that. You got to play to that level. You got to dominate the competition and be the reason. We talked about it last year. Ryan Wingo and all those guys dropping passes, not running good routes, all of that. We don't worry about those things with Cam Coleman. So Cam, now you're in Texas. Go out there and play to the level of that program, because the expectations at Auburn are different. You just suit up and go play, because Auburn wasn't a team that people viewed as a national championship contender. Texas was 1 loss away from being in the CFP, Keith. One. They had 3 losses. If they didn't lose to Florida. Yep. They didn't lose one of them teams, they would have been in the CFP, right? That's just what it is. So knowing that you are that close to the tournament, to the dance, you want to get to the dance this time. And you feel like a needle mover is a guy like Cam Coleman. So he's got to come in with the expectations of 700 yards isn't going to cut it. We need 11, 12, 1,300 yards, 7 to 10 touchdowns, maybe more, to really help elevate our passing offense. I'm ready to see how he handles that spotlight, because he hasn't been in that type of spotlight since he arrived in college football.
Yep. No, I agree. It's definitely going to be something to pay attention to and be a storyline for this college football season. DP, let's do this, man. It's time to get to those NFL comps and the draft grade for Mr. Cam Coleman. We'll discuss that coming up next.
Running a business shouldn't feel like you're trying to connect a bunch of systems that were never designed to work together. One app for accounting, another for inventory, another for sales, and somehow none of them talk to each other. That's where Odoo comes in. Odoo is an all-in-one business management software that brings every part of your business together in one powerful platform. From sales and accounting to inventory and marketing, everything works in one place, helping your team move faster, stay organized, and focus on growing the business instead of managing software. The best organizations know that success isn't just about talent, it's about having everyone work towards the same goal. And that's true in sports just like it is in business. And that is something that you can easily see with the New York Knicks, the newly crowned NBA champions. But it didn't start with just acquiring Jalen Brunson. They went and got OG Anunoby, Karl Anthony Towns, Mikal Bridges. They knew what they wanted to do. Great organizations win because operations matter. And that's why you should get Odoo. Try for free today at odoo.com/locked-on. That's odoo.com/locked-on. Thank you for making Locked On NFL Draft your first listen of the day. And thanks for making the Locked On Podcast Network the number one sports podcast network in America. It's all because of you. And thank you for helping us keep the lights on, right? And for 10 years of being in business here with the Locked On Podcast Network, it's all because of all of our everydayers from the NFL channel, the MLB channel, NBA, whatever. We appreciate all of you. Cam Coleman, explain the grade. We got some comps for you. Keith, what grade did you give the new Texas star wide receiver?
I gave him around 1 grade, DP. I didn't give him the all-pro grade. I gave him the Pro Bowl caliber, just because I want to see a little bit more of him. Like I said, the speed, the different opportunities, and then Auburn being a very wonky, weird team, and as far as passing attack, probably past 20, 30 years. But quarterback situation, like you say, right, was very it was very inconsistent, and just to be quite frankly, it wasn't good, right? So there were some passes that I thought that he did a great job of creating and making them completions, because they were just honestly throw up balls, right? Just let's see what happens with them. But now being a more timing and rhythm offense, a way more capable quarterback, I can easily see Arch Manning and Cam Coleman becoming one of the best, if not the best duo in college football. When we talked about Arch Manning in comparison to this receiver core, when we did the Arch Manning breakdown, when I watched Cam Coleman, I was like, yeah, this is what he needs. He needs a reliable target that, at the very least, we know can catch the football, right? Like, he's a consistently catch the football. That's what he does at a high level. I think it allows to put, is it Wingo?
Wingo. Ryan Wingo. Yeah.
Ryan Wingo. I kept wanting to say Derek Wingo. Ryan Wingo in position of being the number 2, right? And let him kind of play more of that gadget role, perimeter, explosive threat, things like that. But I like it in that situation. So I'm all on board with that. I think he's a first round grade. I'm gonna toss it to you, let you bring out your first round grade, and then you could drop your comp, and then I'll talk about my comp real quick.
Yeah, I got first round grade on them as well, Keith, and I'm with you. I think I wouldn't put him up there with. I know coming into the summer, a lot of people are, for good reason, as we're excited for him too. A lot of people are super excited for Cam Coleman because they feel like physically he's one of the few receivers that could challenge Jeremiah Smith. Now, I'm going to say this. Love Cam Coleman. I don't think anybody's challenging. We'll see, because we got Nick Marsh and Charlie Beck. We got some other receivers to get into. Jeremiah Smith, we call them rare. I use the term I never use, which is generational. I'm just kind of letting y'all know. I don't know if I'm going to have anybody over Jeremiah Smith as a wide receiver prospect, but Cam is definitely somebody I think he's a top 15, potential top 10 pick if he goes up there and handles his business. If he plays to the level of his talent. And now you're talking about him getting more on-target throws, more accurate throws, better ball placement. He can absolutely easily surpass 1,000 yards. You caught 700 yards with the quarterback play, like you said, frankly, was not good at Auburn. Yeah, with Arch Manning, who we expect to take a step forward and get better this season, you should easily surpass 1,000 yards and be the number 1 wide receiver and be that dominant threat. I expect Steve Sarkisian. Keith is your former coach. You know this. You know this about coaches. You get a new shiny toy, you want to show that off, right? Like, it's just like kids. You know what I'm saying? We got kids. You let your kid take a new toy to daycare or whatever. Man, they showing all their friends. Look what my dad got me. Look what my mom got me.
Listen, and another added element, we in the NIL era, right? So there's one of those boosters sitting up there saying, hey, didn't we go get him, right? He may have cost us some money.
He needs 10 targets.
Yeah,
he needs 10
targets.
I
want to utilize him. Let's figure it out.
No, we just cut a check. I need to see him get as many targets as possible because, as we know, everything is ROI is an investment. So you want to see that return on the investment. I think he could be a top 10 player, top 15 for sure. First round, great for me, Keith. When I watched him, and I said, man, this reminds me of George Pickens.
Yep.
I was last year, you remember I said that Ted Hurst was a George Pickens variant. Mm-hmm. This is, to me, I think he is almost identical to George Pickens in terms of play style, body type, strength, all like that. George Pickens wasn't a blazer either. It was the strength and the ability to get open one-on-one and then make the grabs that most guys can't make on a consistent basis. Remember, early in his Pittsburgh days, Pickens was out there mossing guys, and he still does it now. Even in Dallas. And I just watched this film probably about 2 weeks ago for BR, and man, like, he was so good for the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry, pay that man. Like, stop playing and pay that man. Like, your offense needed. Pay that man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
don't be surprised if they ended in the trade.
Get that man his money, man. You out here about to just help Dak Prescott get that man paid. But yeah, my comp is George Pickens for Cam Coleman. Similar body type. I think both are 6'3", 200 pounds. Pickens might be a little bit heavier now once he got into the NFL, but their play styles are almost identical to me, Keith.
Yeah, I actually think Cam Coleman is heavier than just 200. I thought he was more filled out. I wouldn't have been surprised if he played last year at 210, or you know what I'm saying, like that 210, 212-ish type range. I didn't see a thin wide receiver.
No.
I seen a guy that was pretty decently filled out. So the first comp that did come to mind initially was the George Pickens situation. And I thought of one other guy, and I discussed this, right? And I said where it affected and impacted his 40-yard dash time, but this guy had great leaping ability, and he played with dog mentality. Also played for the Dallas Cowboys, Dez Bryant. I thought that this was spot on Dez Bryant.
I love it.
Back shoulder, going up and get it, leaping ability. But I this is what I thought too, because, and I'll be honest, and just, it's not even hindsight 2020 reflecting on it, just what it was, right? I like George Pickens, but George Pickens' movement skills at times I thought were a little stiff and rigid. Cam Coleman with the football in his hands, DP, reminds me of Dez Bryant, because Dez was also not a speed guy, but he was a power guy. He can run with power. He had good contact balance, good vision, right? Like that, you can tell that in just discussing with people, right? That when you talk about people being good athletes, there are different versions of that, right? Like you can say somebody's a good athlete because they have linear speed, right? They run in a straight line really fast. But then you can have good athletes because they have good body control, balance. They move laterally really well.
Yep, change
Brian
direction.
is a guy, that moved laterally really well and was explosive, vertical, going in the air. I see the same exact thing for Cam Coleman. He moves laterally well, has good contact balance and power, and is explosive vertical. So I like the George Pickens one, and I think I might lean a little bit more to the Dez Bryant one. After I kind of thought about it, because also too, just what Dez brought to the Dallas Cowboys, with him throwing up the X factor. Yeah. I could see Cam coming in to an NFL team and bringing all of that to an NFL team.
I really like that. And for those who don't remember, Dez Bryant came in at 6'2", 225. He ran a 4.52. Like as you talked about, if Cam Coleman was a high 4.5, or would that be low, high, whatever,
high 4.4, low
high 4.4, low 4.5. I hate that whole thing. So if he's a 4.5 flat, 4.51 guy, Dez also jumped 38 inches in the vert. You know what I mean? So when we saw that translate the moment Tony Romo just start throwing them go balls. Like, you know what, man? Dez is down there somewhere, and I'm going to trust it. As I talked about earlier, faith builder. He's the type of receiver you have the faith to throw the ball down the field to him. You might not throw it to Miles Austin the same way, but you're going to throw it to Dez Bryant and say, go get it. And he's going to go get it. So I didn't think about that, Keith, but that's a really good comp. So it was like, listen, Cam, we just put a lot on you. George Pickens, who was top 5 in receiving yards in 2025, and Dez Bryant, one of the greatest Cowboys of all time, and one of the best receivers that we've seen, especially coming out of college, OK State and everything. And you got some big shoes to fill, but we believe in you. And Cam, we believe in your talent. So go out there and prove it.
Yep. And if he can continue to be intentional, DP, and that's why with the great, maybe the 40-yard dash time prevented me from moving forward with the all-pro grade. Yeah, it prevented me from doing that. But the Pro Bowl caliber, and do I think there's a shot that he can be an all-pro caliber wide receiver? Yes. Because there's so much other elements to his games that he's a very well-rounded player.
No, I really like those comps. And like I said, this young man we could fast forward to the 2027 NFL draft, and Texas, honest to God, Keith, Texas could end up having 3 top 10 players off their team in the NFL draft between Arch, Cam Coleman, and then the left tackle Trevor Gooseby. So like they Texas. There's not, you don't have any. Oh no, 4. I'm sorry, 4. Colin Simmons. I forgot.
I was about to ask you, DP. I was about to say, did you just tip your hand?
No, absolutely not. No, God no. Because when we talk, you guys hear my comp for Colin Simmons, you like, all right, DP, you on it. Like, yeah, listen, yeah, Texas could legit have 4. Texas, not saying that if Texas doesn't win, we're gonna be talking about them. But we talked about Ohio State. Like, man, you got 4 top 10 players in the draft, and you didn't win. You didn't get to the CFP. You didn't win a national championship. Come on, man. So that's how good this Texas team is from a talent standpoint. Yeah, listen, I'm excited, kid. I'm excited to see Cam Coleman and Arch. Like you said, you think they could be the best. Still got that duo over in Ohio State with Julian Sayin and Jeremiah Smith over there that might have something to say about being the best QB.
One might be carrying a little bit more weight than the other one in that duo. That's all.
So you talking about me? Ohio State fans gonna be in your DMs. So, why do you keep talking down on our quarterback, Keith? But nah, I'm excited for it, man. This right here, I felt, Keith, as we get ready to close, I felt last year the college football season was good. It didn't match the excitement we had for it.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
Like it didn't match it, and it felt like right out the gate, it was just like this season feels.
Well, you know why, DP? Because it didn't translate, right? All the preseason heavy hitters. When you just think of these 3 teams: LSU, Texas, and Clemson, right? None of it converted to the playoffs.
None of it converted. And Jesus Christ, none of it. Like, I even look at Michigan; they had like a $10 million freshman, and it was just like. People were like, man, y'all gotta remember he's a freshman, So hopefully, I'm excited for the college football season because of us doing the summer scouting series and getting eyes on these prospects now. Because it's like, man, these guys, especially going into good situations like Cam Coleman going in with Arch, I'm excited for kids. I think this could be a really, really big college football season that will have huge implications on the 2027 NFL draft.
Yep. I agree with DP. That wraps up another episode, man, of the Locked On NFL Draft Podcast. In this podcast, all by saying shout out to our everydayers. Thank you for tapping in with us each and every single day. I am Keith Sanchez. You can find me on X at The Talent Code. That right there is my guy, my co-host, Mr. Damian Parson. You can find him on X at DP_NFL. Like we like to say, man, y'all gonna talk to us because we like to talk back.
Go subscribe and follow for free on YouTube, wherever you listen to podcasts, to get the latest episode as soon as it is available. If you're watching on YouTube, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you're notified every time we drop content on the channel. If you're listening on audio, give us a 5-star review. Just support your favorite NFL draft analyst here on the Locked On NFL Draft Podcast. On tomorrow's show, we're getting into Ryan Coleman Williams. I was about to say Ryan Williams, but that was the previous version. He's now 2 last names, Ryan Coleman Williams from Alabama. We're going to talk about his game, guys, the good, the bad, and we're going to talk about where we see him slated in this loaded 2027 NFL draft class. So come and join the conversation again tomorrow on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.